was asked to give a lecture to hospice caregivers over Covenant. The idea being that they don't quite know how to deal with the kinds of questions and the kinds of comments that Vietnam veterans make in their last stages of life. Vietnam veterans are dying at an alarming rate, perhaps younger than many of the World War II veterans were dying, and that's a concern to all of us. So they asked me to give a lecture on, first of all, on the war itself, so that many of these caregivers that are much younger don't know much about the history of the war and don't quite understand why veterans are saying some of the things that they're saying. So I gave a lecture trying to explain some of the issues about Vietnam and why it's so controversial. And I think that was sort of the beginning of what now I have been approached about doing some more work in this area. There's a new concept that we're using now that's sort of related to a post-traumatic stress called moral injury, where people feel, and it's really even with some of our Iraq and Afghan vets today, moral injury really is defined as that feeling that you get when it's not about what someone did to you, but what you did to them. If you're not at least aware of some of the difficulties of what these men have been going through for maybe the last 30 or 40 years of their life as a result of what happened to them in Vietnam, then it's hard to respond to them about the things that they're raising. One of the most amazing things to me as a professor here at Texas Tech with my students is I have them do oral histories of Vietnam veterans as part of their coursework. And what we find many times is Grandpa now hasn't said anything to their daughter or their son about Vietnam for 40 years, but they'll talk to the student because it's a class assignment, and they're saying things, I didn't know that, Grandpa, I didn't know anything about that. That's where we're trying to also educate the home, the families themselves. And we do that in a lot of different ways, but one of the ways that, the best ways that we do it is the outreach that we have here with our own students, going home and talking to Grandpa and Grandma about it. So I see that as an ongoing thing that we're going to see a lot more of.